Ladies and gentlemen, there's a time to speak and there's a time to stay silent. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is knowing which one to choose. Every word you speak carries weight. The question is, are you using them with purpose or are you just making noise? Too many people talk just to fill the silence, just to be heard, just to prove something. But the real game changers, the people who make an impact, they don't waste their words. They speak with intention. They understand that words are not just sounds, they are tools, they are weapons, they are the building blocks of influence and power. When you speak with purpose, people listen. They feel the energy behind your words. They know you're not just talking to talk, you're speaking because what you have to say matters. But speaking with purpose requires discipline. It means resisting the urge to react impulsively, to jump into conversations without thinking, to let your emotions dictate your words. It means pausing before you speak, asking yourself asterisk, asterisk. Is this adding value? Is this moving the conversation forward? Is this something that needs to be said? Asterisk, asterisk. If the answer is no, then you hold back. You wait. You refine your thoughts until what you say has meaning, has direction, has impact. The most successful people in the world don't speak just to fill the silence. They don't waste their breath explaining themselves to people who won't listen. They don't feel the need to prove how smart they are, how strong they are, how capable they are. They let their actions do the talking. Asterisk, asterisk. And when they do speak, it's powerful. It's clear. It's intentional. Speaking with purpose means knowing why you are speaking. Is it to solve a problem? To inspire action, to correct a misunderstanding, to offer encouragement? Every time you open your mouth, there should be a reason. If you're just talking to vent, to gossip, to impress, you're depleting your influence. Instead of building it, people respect those who choose their words wisely. They trust those who don't speak in circles, who don't ramble, who don't flood the air with meaningless words. They listen to those who speak less, but say more. Asterisk, asterisk. There's another key to speaking with purpose, and that's being present. Too many people talk while distracted. They think about what they're going to say next instead of listening to what's being said. They rush through conversations without actually connecting. Speaking with purpose means being fully engaged. It means listening deeply before responding. It means making eye contact, feeling the energy in the room, and knowing when to pause for effect. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say isn't it all. Asterisk, asterisk. When you speak with purpose, you also own your words. Asterisk, asterisk. You don't backtrack, you don't water down your message to make it more comfortable for others. You say what needs to be said, clearly, and with conviction. You don't waste time apologizing for having an opinion. You stand by your truth because you've taken the time to choose your words carefully. You've thought before you spoke. You've made sure that your message aligns with your values, your mission, your vision. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the visionaries, the ones who inspire you. Do they talk just to talk? Or do they deliver words that move people? The greatest speakers, the most influential leaders, they know that asterisk, asterisk. It's not about how much you say, it's about what you say and how you say it. Asterisk, asterisk. They use their words to shift perspectives, to ignite change, to challenge the status quo. They don't waste time on petty arguments. They don't engage in conversations that don't serve them. They speak when it matters. And when they do, people stop and listen. Speaking with purpose is also about protecting your energy. Asterisk, asterisk. Every conversation you engage in, every word you speak, takes something out of you. When you speak with intention, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. You don't waste it on negativity, on defensiveness, on small talk that leads nowhere. You direct your words where they have the most impact. You use them as a force for progress, for leadership, for transformation. It's a skill that takes practice. It takes self-awareness. It takes the ability to step back and ask asterisk, asterisk. Is this worth saying? Is this the right time? Am I coming from a place of clarity and strength? Asterisk, asterisk. Because when you do that, when you develop the discipline to only speak with purpose, your voice becomes a magnet. People lean in, they listen. They respect what you have to say because they know you don't waste your words. You don't fill the air with empty noise. You speak because you have something valuable to contribute. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not submission. Silence is power. In a world where everyone is trying to be the loudest voice in the room, those who master the art of silence hold the real influence. Most people misunderstand silence. They think if they don't speak up immediately, they'll be ignored, overlooked, or seen as weak. But the truth is, silence creates an air of mystery, of strength, of presence. It forces people to lean in, to wonder what you're thinking, to respect the fact that you don't feel the need to fill every moment with words. The most powerful individuals don't speak to prove something. They speak when necessary. They hold their silence when it serves them. They understand that words lose their value when overused. Asterisk, asterisk. The more you talk, the less people listen. The more you explain yourself, the less conviction you appear to have. When you learn to embrace silence, you gain control over your emotions, your energy, and your interactions with others. Silence gives you the upper hand. In negotiations, the person who speaks least has the most power. When you hold your silence, you make the other person uncomfortable. You let them reveal more than they intended. You allow space for information to come to you rather than rushing to fill the gaps. Silence makes people feel your presence in a way that words never could. It signals confidence, self-assurance, and discipline. It tells the world, I don't need to explain myself. I know who I am. There's also an incredible strength in silence during conflict. When someone attacks you, criticizes you, or tries to get a reaction out of you, the instinct is to fire back, to defend, to explain. But when you stay silent, you rob them of their power. You don't engage in their negativity. You don't lower yourself to their level. Instead, you maintain control, and in doing so, you dictate the outcome of the interaction. Silence also forces you to listen more deeply. Asterisk, asterisk. Too many people listen to respond rather than to understand. They are already formulating their reply before the other person has even finished speaking. But when you train yourself to truly listen to, sit in the silence, to absorb, to observe you, gain insights others miss, you pick up on the unsaid. You notice body language, tone, and intent. You gain a level of awareness that allows you to make smarter decisions, to navigate situations with clarity, and to respond with impact rather than impulse. Another place where silence is powerful is in personal growth. Most people fear silence because it forces them to sit with their thoughts. It removes distractions. It brings up emotions they'd rather ignore. But that's exactly why silence is so valuable. It creates space for self-reflection, for clarity, for inner peace. The most successful people take time for silence, not just externally, but internally. They sit in stillness, they process, they allow ideas to flow. They don't fear being alone with their thoughts because they know that's where their greatest insights come from. Mastering silence also means knowing when to pause. Asterisk, asterisk, A. Well-placed pause in a conversation creates tension. It commands attention. It makes people stop and think. Public speakers, leaders, and negotiators use pauses to emphasize their message, to let their words sink in. Silence can be just as loud as words if you know how to use it. There's also a time when silence is the ultimate answer. When someone doesn't deserve your energy, when a situation is beneath you, when engaging would mean losing your peace, silence is your greatest weapon. You don't owe everyone a response. You don't have to justify yourself to those who won't understand. You don't need to speak just because someone else expects you to. True power comes from the ability to choose when to engage and when to walk away. Asterisk, asterisk. Many people mistake silence for inaction, but the reality is silence is often the most deliberate action you can take. It is a choice, a strategy, a skill that separates the reactive from the intentional, the weak from the strong. When you learn to control your silence, you learn to control your life. Emotions are powerful. They can drive you forward or hold you back. They elevate your success or sabotage everything you've built. The difference between those who win and those who struggle is emotional control, the ability to regulate what you feel and, more importantly, how you express it. Most people react to their emotions without thinking. They speak out of anger, frustration, or fear. They let a single moment of emotion destroy relationships, opportunities, and credibility. But the ones who master their emotions, who know when to express and when to hold back, are the ones who hold true power. Emotional control is not about suppressing what you feel. It's about mastering how you respond. Because let's be real, life will challenge you. People will push your buttons, situations will test your patience. And in those moments, your ability to remain calm, to think before you speak, to step back before you react will determine the outcome. If you let anger take over, if you respond impulsively, if you say things you regret, you lose. You lose respect, you lose influence, you lose control. The key is learning to pause. Most people don't pause, they react. They feel something and they immediately act on it. But that split second between feeling and responding is where all your power lies. When you pause, you shift from reaction to intention. You give yourself time to process, to ask, is this worth my energy? Is this the response that serves me best? Will this reaction bring me closer to my goal or push me further away? That pause changes everything. One of the most dangerous emotions is anger. It makes people reckless. It makes them say things they can't take back. It clouds judgment. But think about the most powerful people you know. Do they lose their temper easily? Do they let frustration dictate their decisions? Or do they remain composed, measured, in control? When you control your emotions, you control the situation. When you lose control of your emotions, the situation controls you. The same applies to fear. Fear keeps people small. It stops them from speaking up, from taking risks, from stepping into opportunities. It convinces them to settle for less because it whispers, what if you fail? What if you're not good enough? But the truth is, fear is just a feeling. It's not reality. And if you let it dictate your choices, you'll always play small. The people who achieve massive success feel fear, but they don't obey it. They acknowledge it, they understand it, and then they move forward anyway. Another critical part of emotional control is knowing when to be silent. Not every situation requires a response. Not every comment deserves your. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Let people talk. Let them argue. Let them underestimate you. Your silence speaks louder than words. It shows confidence. It shows control. It forces others to rethink, to wonder, to feel the weight of your presence without you needing to prove anything. Developing emotional control also means mastering self-awareness. You have to know your triggers. What sets you off? What makes you feel insecure, defensive, or reactive? If you don't know, you'll always be at the mercy of your emotions. But when you recognize your patterns, you can change them. You can choose a different response. You can train yourself to stay composed even when everything inside you wants to react. That's what separates leaders from followers. Emotional control isn't just about power, it's about freedom. When you're not a slave to your emotions, you're free to make clear, intelligent, and strategic decisions. You're free to walk into any situation knowing you are in control of yourself, no matter what happens. You become unshakable, untouchable, unstoppable. You operate from a place of strength rather than weakness. You dictate the energy of the room instead of being influenced by it. You stop giving your power away to people who don't deserve it. Most people will never master their emotions because they don't even realize they need to. They think their reactions are automatic, that they have no choice. But you do have a choice. Every moment, every conversation, every challenge is an opportunity to prove that you control your emotions. They don't control you. Asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. Most people love the sound of their own voice. They talk endlessly, thinking that the more they say, the more important they'll seem. But the reality is the most powerful people listen more than they speak. Asterisk, asterisks. They understand that real influence isn't about talking over others, it's about deeply understanding them. When you listen more and speak less, you gain insight, you gain control, and you gain respect. The problem is that most people aren't really listening. They're just waiting for their turn to speak, asterisk, asterisk. They nod, they smile, but their mind is already preparing their response. They aren't absorbing what's being said. They aren't paying attention to tone, body language, or the deeper meaning behind the words. And that's why they miss opportunities. That's why they fail to connect. That's why they struggle to influence. When you learn to listen, truly listen, you step into a different level of power. Because now, instead of just reacting, you're responding with intention. Instead of guessing what someone needs, you actually know. Asterisk, asterisk, you hear what's not being said, you pick up on patterns. You start to understand people at a level they don't even understand themselves. And that gives you the upper hand in every conversation, every negotiation, every relationship. The best communicators are not the ones who dominate the conversation. They are the ones who make others feel heard. Because when you listen to someone really listen, they trust you. They respect you. They lower their defenses, they open up, and that is where influence is built. That is where leadership is forged. Not in the ability to speak louder, but in the ability to make people feel seen, understood, and valued. Listening more also means you avoid unnecessary conflict. Asterisk, asterisk. So many arguments, so many misunderstandings happen because people don't take the time to hear what's really being said. They jump to conclusions. They assume. They respond emotionally instead of taking a moment to process. But when you pause, when you listen, when you seek to understand before responding, you diffuse tension before it even begins. You show emotional intelligence, you build deeper relationships, you gain control over the situation because you're not reacting, you're leading. And here's something most people never realize: the less you speak, the more weight your words carry. Asterisk, asterisk. If you're always talking, always giving your opinion, always filling the silence, your words become background noise. People tune you out, they don't take you seriously. But when you're the person who listens, who observes, who only speaks when there's something important to say, people listen when you do speak. Asterisk, asterisk. Because they know you're not just talking to talk. They know your words have meaning, have thought, have weight. Think about the most powerful leaders, the most respected individuals. Do they ramble on, trying to prove how smart they are? Or do they choose their words carefully? Do they allow others to speak first, gathering information, analyzing perspectives before they make their move? Power is not in constant talking. Power is in restraint. Asterisk. Asterisk. This is why the best negotiators, the best deal makers, the best strategists understand the value of silence. When you let the other person talk more, they reveal everything. Their fears, their desires, their weaknesses, and the more they talk, the more control you have. Because now, you know what motivates them, you know what they need, and that gives you leverage. There's another reason why listening more makes you stronger. It helps you grow faster. Asterisk. Asterisk, the more you listen, the more you learn. Every conversation is an opportunity to absorb new knowledge, new insights, new strategies. When you talk too much, you're just repeating what you already know. But when you listen, you open yourself up to new ideas, new perspectives, new levels of wisdom. Listening also forces you to slow down. It removes the impulse to react. It helps you become more mindful, more intentional, more in control of your own energy. It shifts your focus from how can I sound smart to asterisk, asterisk. How can I truly understand asterisk, asterisk? And that shift changes everything. Because when you make people feel heard, when you listen before you speak, you don't just gain knowledge, you gain trust, you gain respect, and ultimately, you gain power. Most people think power is about speaking up, making noise, taking up space. But the truth is, real power comes from restraint, from knowing when to hold back, when to let others talk, when to walk away instead of reacting. The strongest people in the world don't feel the need to prove themselves with words. They prove themselves through their actions, through their presence, through their ability to control the moment instead of being controlled by it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they need to respond to everything. A comment, a criticism, an insult, most people feel the need to reply immediately, to defend themselves, to justify their actions. But this is where they lose power. Because the moment you engage, the moment you react emotionally, you give control to the other person. You let them dictate your energy. You let them pull you into their game. But when you choose not to respond, when you choose silence over reaction, you take all the power back. Asterisk, asterisk. The ability to stay silent when provoked is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It tells the world, I don't operate on your level. I don't let others control my emotions. I choose my battles. When someone tries to get a reaction from you, whether it's through criticism, negativity, or manipulation, and you stay silent, you force them to deal with their own energy. You don't engage in their chaos. You don't stoop to their level. You make it clear that you are above the noise. Restraint is not weakness. Restraint is discipline. It takes strength to hold back when your emotions are pushing you to react. It takes wisdom to recognize when responding is not in your best interest. Most people speak out of impulse, without thinking, without strategy. But those who are truly powerful understand that not everything deserves their energy. They conserve their words, they wait. They think. And when they do speak, it carries weight. One of the most powerful things you can do in a conflict is pause. Asterisk, asterisk. Most people don't pause. They fire back, they defend, they explain. But a pause creates tension. It makes the other person uncomfortable. It forces them to second-guess themselves. When you pause, you show control. You show that you are not rattled, not intimidated, not desperate to prove anything. That pause shifts the dynamic in your favor. Restraint also applies to how you handle information. The most successful people don't reveal everything they know. They don't overshare. They don't let emotions push them into saying things they'll regret later. They hold back. They observe. They let others reveal themselves first. They understand that the more you talk, the more power you give away. Asterisk, asterisk, the more people know about your plans, your fears, your emotions, the more they can use against you. But when you move in silence, when you don't expose your every thought, you remain in control. There is incredible power in mystery. When people don't know what you're thinking, when they can't predict your next move, they respect you more, they take you seriously, they wonder about you. But when you are constantly talking, constantly explaining, constantly trying to be heard, you lose that advantage. The strongest people understand that. Not everything needs to be said. Asterisk, asterisk. Sometimes the best response is silence. Restraint also plays a role in decision-making. Most people make decisions emotionally. They react in the moment without thinking about long-term consequences. But restraint allows you to step back, to assess, to make decisions from a place of clarity, not emotion. Asterisk. Asterisk, it prevents you from making choices you'll regret. It allows you to see the bigger picture. Think about the people who have the most influence. They don't waste their words. They don't chase approval. They don't feel the need to be the loudest voice in the room. Instead, they use strategic silence. Asterisk, 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 they know when to hold back, when to let others talk, when to let the moment unfold without forcing their presence. And because of that, when they do speak, people listen. The ability to exercise restraint, to stay silent when necessary, to avoid unnecessary battles, that is what separates the powerful from the powerless. Most people will never master this because they let their emotions dictate their actions. But those who do, those who learn when to speak and when to stay silent, become unstoppable. Asterisk, asterisk. Many people believe that power is gained by talking, by speaking louder, by pushing their ideas onto others. But the truth is, the most powerful people in the world are the ones who understand the value of quiet strength. They don't need to speak to make an impact. They don't need to constantly assert their opinions. Instead, they know when to stay silent, when to let the world come to them, when to let others speak and express themselves. They let their actions do the talking. Power is not about always having the last word or being the loudest in the room. It's about strategic silence. Asterisk, asterisk. The ability to be present, to remain calm, and to hold back when it's most important. You see, when you speak too much, you lose your edge. You lose the mystery. You lose the power of your presence. People stop listening, stop paying attention, because they know you will always speak your mind. But when you are selective with your words, when you don't feel the need to share everything, people listen with intention. They take you seriously. They respect you more. When you are in control of your silence, you command respect without uttering a single word. The most influential leaders understand this concept. They know when to speak and when to let others talk. They let people come to their own conclusions instead of force-feeding their thoughts. This gives them the upper hand because they allow others to reveal their true intentions. The more someone speaks, the more they expose their thoughts, their insecurities, their weaknesses. The more they talk, the more control you have. Silence also gives you time to reflect, to assess the situation, and to make better decisions. Most people react impulsively, driven by emotions, without taking a moment to think. They say things they regret later. They make decisions out of fear or anger without considering the long-term impact. But silence allows you to pause, to breathe, to gain clarity. It lets you step back from the situation and see it for what it truly is. When you can control your need to react immediately, you put yourself in a position to make smarter choices. Another powerful aspect of silence is the way it keeps you grounded. In today's fast-paced world where everything is constantly moving, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos. People are always talking, always sharing their opinions, always looking for validation, but silence helps you detach from the noise. It helps you focus on what really matters. It gives you the space to think, to prioritize, and to focus on your goals. It reminds you that not everything needs to be said, asterisk, asterisk, and not every opinion needs to be shared. Silence also works in your favor when it comes to emotional intelligence. The more you speak, the more your emotions dictate your words. But when you practice silence, you gain emotional control. You choose how you react, when to speak, and when to stay calm. Emotional intelligence isn't just about understanding others' feelings, it's also about managing your own. Silence allows you to regain control of your emotions in moments of stress, conflict, or frustration. It lets you pause and think before acting. The truth is, silence is rarely appreciated in a world that celebrates constant noise. Asterisk, asterisk, but those who understand its power, who understand how to wield it, have the greatest influence. They are the ones who know how to navigate conflict without escalating it. They are the ones who remain calm in chaos, who don't rush to fill the silence with unnecessary chatter. And because of that, they hold the most power in any room. Mastering silence doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world or becoming passive. It means becoming selective with your words, becoming deliberate in your actions, and understanding that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, asterisk, asterisk. You don't need to be the loudest or the most opinionated. You don't need to constantly defend yourself or explain your choices. When you have mastered silence, you have mastered yourself. You have mastered the ability to move through the world with confidence without needing constant validation or external approval. You've tapped into a level of strength and self-assurance that most people will never know. In a world that constantly urges us to speak up, express our opinions, and assert ourselves, it's essential to recognize that true power lies not in how loudly we speak, but in how wisely we choose our moments to speak. The strongest individuals are not those who talk the most, but those who know when to hold their words, when to listen, when to stay silent, and when to act. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It's a powerful tool for emotional control, strategic thinking, and emotional intelligence. By mastering the art of knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, we not only gain the respect of others, but we also develop a deep sense of self-awareness and inner strength. The ability to restrain yourself, to pause, and to choose your words carefully gives you a level of influence that few others will ever understand. It's in these moments of quiet strength that true power is forged.